sun could break through. It could really drive your colors up the wall. There's not much. Where do you want me? Okay. Now you want Kirk to look pretty much at the camera or at me?
Well, if you're sitting here, he's going to look pretty much, as much as possible, look at the camera.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit. I'll just stand.
Let me get some framing right here, buddy. Mind the shot now? Yep. Mind the shot. That's the tip. Now you're not. Okay, have it now. Not in? Nope. Have it now. Yep. Now. I guess this is my shot.
Sure will, extra trouble.
Give us a little warm up here, Kirk, so we can check our microphone out.
You mean that claw hammering style?
Yes, sir.
Just a little bit of that song you were playing, Over the Road I'm Bound to Go.
Look at me a lot.
And then when you finish, just simply say who you are and talk a little bit about Uncle Dave.
Well,
just whatever comes into your mind.
Well, this here is one of the numbers that Uncle Dave did, and we recorded in 1922, I believe it was, for Vocalion people in New York City. And this was his style, so I've never rehearsed or tried to do it, and it wouldn't be any better, I don't guess, if I had, so I'll just do a little of it. It's called Over the Road I'm Bound to Go, and what it meant, over the road, if you did something and it was you're breaking the law, they'd send you to the county road, and they work you on the chain gang, and that's where they got Over the Road I'm Bound to Go. And the story of this thing was this man stole the man's meat, and they caught him, and they was trying him for it, and that's why he knew he's going over the road. So I'll attempt to do a little. Over the road I'm bound to go.
Show us in sort of in slow motion how that style works?
Yeah, I could show you, but I can't tell you.
Okay, could you just show us?
I don't know how to explain it. What you do, you knock down with the front finger, and you pick up with the thumb. Now, some of these people that does this style, we call it claw hammering, they don't get the thumb over in the middle strings, but that thumb's supposed to go all over. got his sound. He'd pick some of the strings.
What did Uncle Dave call that?
Well, he called it rapping. That was his style. That's what he called it. But now what they call it's claw hammering.
Where did Uncle Dave learn that stuff?
Gosh, nobody knows. Probably from the slaves.
But did you ever see any white people play like him, Uncle Dave, before you saw Uncle Dave?
No, I didn't. He was the first one I saw, but I just kept practicing along till I could do it, his way.
Can you remember the first time you saw Uncle Dave? The first time you met him?
The first time I saw him was out here in the country. He played a little school. Fiddler and Sid Harkreader was with him. And then we had him over at Paydensville at a little school. And that's where we got acquainted with him. He went home with us and spent a night or two,
What'd you think of him when you first saw him?
Oh, I thought he was the grandest man in the world, and always did, all as long as he was living. To me, he was the greatest entertainer. He was the kind that could make a talk on the stage, or else in the church he could make a pretty talk, and he was a very religious man. You wouldn't think it from his actions sometime, but he was a good man and very religious.
You said that you played with Uncle Dave for, what, about 20 years?
Off and on for 20 years, yeah. The last work he did, we had a 90 days contract with Oscar Davis. He was a booking agent, and then we worked 2 weeks besides after the 90 days. We drove 36,000 miles in 90 days in 2 weeks.
Where all did you drive to?
Oh, we'd go to Texas, Oklahoma, and up on the East Coast, Newport News. We played one show up there at this Navy base, and of course the sailors and the soldiers, they fought that night. I don't know what they're fighting about, and doubt if they did.
When you all went into the North, did the people there understand the music that you all were playing back then? Were they as used to as country music as they are today?
No, they did. They wasn't educated to it, I guess you'd use the term. But now, some of the best picking ground there is north, around Chicago. In fact, Sam, my brother, we went up there and we did a show at the University of Chicago. We played 2 hours and 20 minutes, just we two. And I thought the man that picked me up at the plane, his name was Berlin. I said, Mr. Berlin, I'd like to see the rest of the show. They wanted me to MC the show, and I said, so we'd be acquainted, and I'd know what they was going to do, and they'd know what we was going to do. He says, well, this is the rest of it. I said, you mean nobody but Sam now? That's right. I said, well, you know they're going to walk out, and I wouldn't blame if they did. He said, no, they'll stay. So they did, 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Was Uncle Dave, when you traveled around with him, was he quite a character to work with?
Oh, he was a show every day, complete shows all through the day. You'd think, well, he'll run out some of these days, but he just could carry on. And he had all the answers. The hecklers in the crowd, he knew how to take care of them,
What would he do if he got heckled in a crowd? Like, can you give me an example?
Well, yeah, you can record this or erase it.
Okay.
This fellow was heckling him, and he motioned for him to come up to the stage, and he stooped down and he talked to him, and the fellow just quietened down. I says, Uncle Dave, what did you tell him? Says, well, I told him that I wish you wouldn't do that. In fact, he might be a brother of mine, that my daddy was a traveling salesman, and we might be brothers. You wouldn't want to do your brother like that, would you?
No. What was a show like back in those days? You played these little schoolhouses out in the country a lot. People today don't have any idea of what that kind of entertainment was like. Could you explain a little bit of what it was like?
Well, of course, we done lots of it in the mining country, and you didn't know whether you was going to get a piece of coal lammed upside your head or what. These little boys were pretty rough, and In fact, getting away from Uncle Dave, I'll tell you about Lou children. And we was down in Florida, and you can erase this if you want to. But this little old boy, I thought he was just going to break the show up. And Lou went over and talked to him. And after the show was over, the little boy never did move after Lou talked to him. I said, "What did you tell him, Lou?" I said, "Look here, boy, if you don't be quiet, I'm going to stomp the living hell out of you." And he sat down, he never did even move again.
That's taking care of hecklers in good style.
Yeah, that's right.
How would Uncle Dave open a show when you all went out with him?
Well, he'd just come out there and he'd sit down, and of course he'd tell a story or two, you know, and I called it selling himself. The first thing he'd do, he'd sell himself to the audience, you know. Then anything he did was all right. And he would talk some religion, and then that's the reason he got by with a lot of his stuff, you know. They say, well, he's a religious old man. It don't make no difference what he says.
What were some of the crazy things he used to say?
Oh, he'd say, "Now, boys, come on out here. Let's do something like where it is, where we come from. Was raised in the backwoods." No, say, "We come from the backwoods, raised on the bluff, where we're going to shake wicked feet and strut our stuff." Then he'd go in on a hoedown, you know. And Sam,
one of those hoedowns he used to go in on.
well, one this year, what I played, it was. Then he had one called "Coming from the Ball."
Coming from the ball.
Coming from the ball, yeah.
Could you do just a bar or two of that, do you think?
I got to think it up for you. Yonder comes old Grandma, she wring her hands and cried. Daughter fell in love with me, she fainted away and died. Don't get weary, don't get weary, children, don't get weary. Jaybird and the sparrow danced on the hill together. Waltzed all night, bright lights and never lost a feather. Don't get weary, don't get weary, children, don't get weary. I'm coming from the ball. And he'd hold up his foot.
He'd do all kinds of tricks with the banjo, wouldn't he?
Oh, yes, he had one. I don't know how he did it, but he had a little light banjo, you know. It wouldn't have weighed over 3-4 pounds. And he'd switch it under his leg, you know, and had it timed. And I asked him where he got it, and his father had a hotel. Did you ever hear him tell that? Well, his father owned a Broadway house in Nashville on Broad Street, and there was a show troupe up at the Princess Theater. And this fella, that's where he got it, from this fella. He was boarding with Uncle Dave. They had a boarding house, then they called it then, in connection with this hotel. And this man stayed around. His show was there a week, and that's where he got the act. But it's timed out perfect.
So he learned it from a vaudeville troupe.
Yeah, that's right. A comedian.
Did Uncle Dave, where else did he learn his jokes from? He had a lot of jokes. Do you know where he got them?
I guess he made up lots of them. And every one he ever heard, well, he remembered it, you know.
How would you all travel back in those days?
Always in the Model T, part of the time. Then we got a A model, and just done a little bit all the way along, you know.
Was Uncle Dave a hard person to travel with?
No, he's wonderful. He just, if you let him get his sleep, but he had to have that sleep every afternoon. Didn't he? Was cross. He was hard to get along with then. He'd be mad.
Ken, you remember anything about when you made records with Uncle Dave? What it was like back then?
Yeah, the first time, he and Sam went, I believe it was for Vocalion people. Then the next year, well, that's when he took me along, and we they gave us to show you how honest it was. Sterky Brothers, furniture people in Knoxville, sent us up there, and they gave Uncle Dave $500 to pay the expenses with, which $500 go a long ways then. And I believe it was $6.80 we had of that money when we got back to Knoxville, and Uncle Dave gave it to him.